Oh, yep. I believe that we are live here in sunny Sharpsburg, Georgia on Super Bowl Sunday. I hope everybody is safe during your Super Bowl activities today. That's right. Y'all take care. Yep, there it is, folks. Alrighty then. One of my business cards. I ain't using the refrigerator magnet today. But anyway, what I was going to do right quick like is tell you guys, talk about the rinseless wash again, which this time of year is a good time to use this method, although today wouldn't be bad to be outside with your hose, your buckets, what pressure washers, whatever your method is. But you may recall in some of our past videos, we put everything on this car up to including the new titanium coating, and then on top of that I put a titanium sealant. And I've had to one of our last videos, I had to drive it in the rain. We were cleaning her up. Well, I had to do it again. And then Sally was a little perturbed. I think she's getting used to it now. She had to sit outside, I don't know, 4 days while I worked on customers' cars. So all that rainwater, before I was concerned about that, and it is a concern, I was wanting to get it off before it dried. Oh, I got me a viewer there. I can't tell who it is. It won't tell me. But it had to sit outside, and I just did a rinseless wash on this half of the hood. And I was going to try to get over here and see if I could pick up in the light. You can see the spotting from the rain water that has managed to stay on this car. The titanium coating has pushed most of it off. So there's not a whole lot of spotting going on, but I don't want this stuff to bond to my coatings and then eventually etch into that and down back through to the clear coat. So what I'm going to do is show you guys another method of rinseless wash to get rid of all this. And I took some photographs a while ago. They'll be put up shortly. But this half was spotted just like that half. And it took me a matter of a minute or two. And I'm going to show you how I did that. And I'm a fan of, there are several different companies out there with stuff. I've tried several of them. In fact, I have a bottle of another company's in there that I tried, did not like. So I came back to this Optimum No Rinse, Wash, and Shine. Now this version, I just ordered. They have an updated version, and it'll be here tomorrow. But this stuff right here is still fine if you see it in the stores or whatever. But how this works is you mix it with distilled water. Don't be put off by the price, because a little bit of this goes a long way, folks. It goes a long way. And it's not that expensive, but it looks like it is. But no, you don't use this stuff straight. You have to dilute it down. And what it does is when you're cleaning your car with it, and you can also use it as a clay bar lubricant, as a quick detailer, or as a rinseless wash like I'm going to be doing today. And there's directions right on the label. There you go, on what your dilution ratios are. And so, but what this stuff does is it has what they call surfactants in it, I think, and that stuff encircles whatever dirt and grime might be on the surface of your car and lifts it away from your paint, your coating, whatever it is. And it also has lubrication in it. Oh, there's somebody watching. I see a picture, but it's so little bitty I can't tell who that is. Make a comment for me, guys. Make a comment. I was talking about it has lubrication in it, as well as just a tiny, teeny bit of wax, so it leaves some protection behind. And the lubrication minimizes what marring might occur when you're rubbing across the paint. And folks, I don't care who you are. I don't care how good you are. I don't care what method you use. When you wash a car, you are going to leave some what we call micro marring or micro scratching on the paint. It cannot be helped. I don't care how many steps you take, how many buckets you use, how many wash mitts you use. If you force air dry it like I do, anytime you run your hand across the paint, I don't care how good a quality of wash mitt you're using, how good a quality of soap you're using, you are going to leave some barely noticeable scratching on the paint. I guarantee you 99.99999% of the cars you see going up and down the road have some scratching on their clear coat or coating. It's unavoidable unless they have just left a professional detailer's shop who removed that, and that's subject for more videos. It can be removed, but there's not much point really if you have a driver car like I have here. This is my transportation, and I don't worry about too much all the little bitty micro marring scratching I end up with, because it's not a show car. If your car is a show car, or you garage keep it all the time and never drive it, or only drive it on a Saturday or a Sunday or something like that, yeah, okay, maybe. But when you do end up cleaning it, you know what? You're going to scratch it and you're going to have to polish it up again. Just no other way around that. Well, what I'm going to do is, and I've got my O&R there, I've got about half a gallon mixed up, pre-mixed in that bucket. I've got a high quality wash mitt, which, you know, I'll keep flipping it and this and that, and I have a whole stack of them over there. And as it gets dirty, instead of trying to clean it out, I'll just swap mitts. It'll probably take me 1, 2, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mitts to do this car, but that is to minimize the marring. But what I'm going to do is show you the method that I'm doing today as best I can, in the hopes that it might help some of you folks out who can't or won't get out there in the dead of winter to wash your cars. And man, they get nasty in the winter. Around here they do, and especially in places where they put salt on the roads and all that kind of mess. But you've got all kinds of crap on the roadway that gets up on your car, in addition to just plain old dirt, pollen, all that stuff. So don't leave that stuff on there just because it's winter time. I have seen videos of guys doing this out in the parking lot of their apartment complex. You don't need a hose. You don't need a bunch of water. Like I said, I probably won't use a half a gallon of distilled water cleaning my car this way. And one of the keys to this rinseless washing method, not waterless washing, I'm not a fan of that stuff, rinseless washing, folks, is it's, you know, a lot of detailers swear this is even safer than your traditional methods. I would say in some cases, yes, depending on how dirty the car is and how picky you are about leaving behind any scratching if you don't want to have to buff it. It's also handy, like I said, for those of you who live in apartment complexes or places like that, and they won't allow you to wash your cars there. You don't want to take it through these commercial car washes because of the strong alkaline soaps that they use, which can do a number on your clear coat eventually. And the brushes that have dirt in them and blah, blah, blah. And a lot of them use recycled water. I'm not sure if the ones around here do, although I suspect they might. And that even goes for the wash bays, where you go up there, you pull in a so-called touchless wash, where you put your money in there and it kicks on with a high pressure wand, and you soak it down, you let it sit for a minute or two, and then you rinse it all off, and then a lot of you will pull it out and dry it off, which is a great thing to do, because that water, we have, this county water is full of stuff. Not a criticism, I know it's necessary, But you don't want to let a rinse from this county water here, or city water, wherever it is you may live, to dry on your car, because it will spot it, and it will leave behind little ringlets of that chemicals that are in that tap water, and that will etch into your clear coat if it stays on there long enough. Many times when I'm doing the final rinse, I'll rinse all the soap off real good and all that with my tap water, my pressure washer, which has a filter on it, and that helps some. But a lot of times I will use, hanging on the wall over there, my Works Hydro Shot, which is a cordless power washer, which draws the fluid through a siphon tube. I'll dump a gallon or so of distilled water, and I'll rinse the county water off with the distilled water, which distilled water won't spot if it dries before you can get the car dried, which if you're having to work outside in sunlight, that happens more often than not. The sun dries it faster than you can get to it to dry it off. But anyway, let's get to this, and I'll just show you. What I did was I just took my wash mitt, which is a high quality from DPC. You have to order these. You can't buy them this quality around here. I dumped it, completely submerged it in that rinseless wash solution. And then I wrung it out so it is still wet, but it's not dripping wet. I want it wet. And in other videos, you've seen me use the spray bottles and all that. We're not going to do that today. What I'm going to do is clean the paint with this, and then I'm going to dry it with this high quality drying towel. This one towel will absorb probably 2 to 3 gallons of water, believe it or not. But it's also extremely soft, extremely plush, I think you can tell. And so therefore it will once again minimize any scratching. So you saw the video earlier, and for those of you who did not, go back and review it. And so what I'm going to do is take this wet cloth, go back to where I stopped when I did the other half. I'm going to come down that way like that. And I'm removing all that water spotting, folks. I can see it's gone. I'm going to flip the mitt over. Back. Put it around here. It's coming very clean through the top of the fender here, folks. And then I'm going to take my really plush towel here. Instead of doing the usual drag method, I'm going to just lightly, and folks, I'm putting almost no pressure on these things, none whatsoever, just enough to stay in contact with the paint. And I'm going to come back, I'm going to dry this paint like that with this high quality drying towel. Do not do this with a regular microfiber towel that you buy around town here. I flip it. And I have the advantage of having an air compressor here. So what I will do after this, so I'm just buffing this to perfection, as they say in the trade. And folks, that is clean, and I can't tell where I've added any scratching to the paint whatsoever. I'll take my air compressor and blow both of these out to get rid of any dirt that might be there. And you can take this out and squirt it off with the hose if you want to get the dirt off of it, if you don't have but 1 or 2 mitts. Or you can simply, if you're at home or wherever you are, you can just take it in there and spray it with your hose sprayer from the sink or something like that. Important thing is just not to use a dirty mitt. That's what you want to avoid. So what we're going to do now is I'll pick up the camera. I'll walk over there. We'll take another look at the hood. Yeah, you see some high spots where I messed up on my O&R again. I mean, not my O&R, my clear coat restore, but that's okay. It's not a show car, but all the water spotting is gone. All of it. There's why I dripped a little bit of water when I walked by. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. Just lightly rub it with this drying towel. I tell you what, folks, I don't use them that much. And probably what I will do after this is go back with my titanium sealant. I have two versions, full strength in one bottle, and the other bottle I've cut 50% distilled water, which is a good refresher coating when you're just topping off something else. The full strength is when you're using it as a standalone product. But I'll go back and refresh the coating, and it'll also clear up any high spots that the wax that's in this O&R might have left behind. But you know, at that rate, it won't take me very long to go and do all this whole car. And I'll probably use a different method on the wheels and tires. That's another video for another day, I suppose. But usually I would start with the roof first and then move my way down, but this was easier to film, this area. Plus it's a bigger area. I think it shows up better. But anyway, folks, I do appreciate each and every one of you that took a few minutes to drop by and visit on a Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday. I don't know, people. I think it's kind of hard to bet against Tom Brady playing at home. Say what you want, the man's a winner. The stats do not lie. With that being said, I'm not sure they can outscore the Kansas City Chiefs and shut that attack down. I'm not no football analyst, but it should be kind of interesting. We shall see. We shall see. You know what? If you got a question, you know, shoot it to me in a PM. If you don't feel comfortable putting it in the comment section, tell me where you watched from. You know, if you have a question, if I can answer it, I will. If I can't, I will try to find out the answer for you. But folks, like I said earlier, we'll just walk back around this car. It was driven in the rain a couple times, and then had to sit outside for a couple of days. I could see a little bit of water spotting on mostly the horizontal surfaces, but the titanium coatings, whew, man, it just pushed all that stuff right off. And I told you guys before, these louvers have been coated with Cerakote, trim coat, which is essentially, as I understand it, a ceramic coating for plastic. It's designed for plastic. It's good stuff. As you can see, nothing, no dirt, nothing has stuck to that. You know, you get a lot of sling up from the back tires because my tires are so wide on all over the back bumper back here, but it still doesn't look too bad. To most people, they'd be like, oh, that car ain't dirty. But it's a little bit dirty. I just don't want that stuff attaching and bonding to my car. But for a car that was driven in the rain, I don't know, 2 or 3 times, and then had to sit outside for days. I don't know, I think it was 4 days. After that, in the sunlight all day, every day, the harsh weather, the freezing temperatures at night, it still looks pretty darn clean. And that's because of the coatings that are on it, folks. This titanium coating is insane. I'm telling you, it's the most amazing stuff I've ever used. And I've used it all. I've used everything except for graphene. I don't know anything about graphene. I probably never will, unless somebody comes along and just specifically asks for it. But I appreciate you. Like, tag, share, follow, subscribe, and all that stuff. Follow. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs down. They say that all that stuff kind of helps me out. I don't really know, but I guess it does. But, you know, don't miss any of the future videos coming up, folks, on other things I do to my car and customers' cars. In fact, I've got a project coming in soon that might be kind of interesting for some of you who are at times perplexed about cleaning your interior. All right, I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.